Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and lots to cover today. Of course, we're on to day 4 of the Super Week now, beginning later today. Going to be talking about some predictions for that, some frustrations from the pros yesterday regarding the meta in the game right now, what Owakening had to say about Crim a few days ago that I didn't get to, and also some changes in the game in addition to the ones we talked about yesterday. Intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. No time to lose. Let's get into things then. Overall KDs as well of day 3. Dylan Envoy with a 1.37, TJ up there with a 1.34, Huke once again with a monstrous performance in their series against the Royal Ravens. Some other names I'm sure to keep your eyes on right here for the rest of it. Fair play to Cammy MVP as well, getting his name on the board despite their loss to the OpTic Chicago yesterday. This is what Treyarch have to say yesterday officially then about the changes we talked about in yesterday's video. Cartel, Crossroads Strike, Moscow, Satellite Raid and Express, all slight or major design changes to these maps. So before and after screenshots, for example, on Cartel. This was actually a major discussion point early in the season when Cartel was meant to be a hardpoint map. It was being played in hardpoint, or at least it was in the CDL rotation, even though none of the teams really wanted to play on it. And one of the major issues with that map was all the bushes around the middle made visibility very difficult indeed. Now, they've definitely reduced the degree to which the bushes are an issue, which some people are saying, okay, does that make Cartel now a competitive focused map? Like, it's possible that maybe it could be used in competitive play. Personally, I'm still not a massive fan of this tower thing in the middle, and I think because it's been gone for the comp rotation for a while, I doubt the pros are really going to be rushing back to it, even though there is even though the bushes now are supposedly fixed. So I doubt it's going to come back. This was a good change though that I saw over at Crossroads. You guys might have, well, I imagine maybe you've noticed this already, but over by these tires, you can see right here, if we go between the images, they've added this little bit of extra cover right here, but importantly, they've changed some of the visibility features. They've added these extra like white walls at the back here, and well, to make your character contrast a little bit more, so you can actually pick them off this head glitch without having a very difficult time seeing them. Also over at this spot up here, the Clacer likes to go in. The rock you can see is notably lighter, over by this area than it was before. So definitely a step in the right direction in terms of visibility. And then also Chrome points out some of the changes. We talked about these yesterday, the league play score streak situation, the trophy system we talked about a few days ago now being fixed. The first hardpoint zone being changed so you can no longer capture it from up top. This I thought was interesting as well. Players can no longer mantle onto the van inside a garage. So that wasn't really a change that I thought. I don't know, you could do it maybe back in the day in Black Ops 2. I think maybe you could lay down on top of it and look in towards gym. So maybe that's a change that they wanted to bring back. And also, as Crow mentions right here, we talked a few weeks ago, right, the fact that they would change the movement inside the game to, small reduction to jump height, they say, and slow down penalty after landing from a jump. So a couple of weeks ago, they really significantly changed the movement in terms of when you jumped around, you just got stuck in the mud a little bit after you did it. And then they did a reversion a few days later and said, okay, we're going to bring it back a little bit. So it's not as bad as it was, so you can still move around a little bit more freely. And now they've done that again, but they've actually had a small reduction to jump height, and but the slowdown penalty is also reduced. So it seems to be a step in the right direction as far as most people are concerned. aBeZy says right here, all I gotta say is the movement feels amazing now. That's a pretty scary side, right? If you got guys like aBeZy, Simp on FaZe, Shotzzy who can go over at Dallas Empire. Yeah, if the movement feels better for them, maybe then, well, that's going to be a scary side for the opposition. But as he says, they pretty much fixed the jump, so it doesn't feel like you get stuck in the mud after landing. Feels a lot more fluid now. aBeZy going to be jump challenge everything from now on. Chrome points this out as well yesterday. This is not something I had seen. It looks like Matt Scott, so the guys are probably working on a fix for this, because supposedly, as Arcitys says, you cannot shoot the other way through this like metal fencing right here. But on this side, if you want to break into court on league play for the next couple of days before they fix this, get yourself on this little ledge and pick the guy off their heady. I mean, this is a pretty disgusting spot. And Clay's is certainly wondering whether this is an intended line of sight. Doesn't necessarily seem to be, because, well, Matt Scott's in the replies right here straight away. So I imagine this is going to get fixed in due course, but certainly something pretty entertaining. Let's talk about this meta right now as it stands, because as Parasite says yesterday, GG's Empire lost last map 3-2. Definitely Ravens put them a much better fight yesterday than they did against the New York Subliners on that first day that they played. We've really got to talk about this meta, he says. 2 game modes where defense has an overwhelming advantage on a ton of maps, S&D and control, that being no smokes and trophies galore, so fishing people out of power spots is the hardest thing in the world. You can't use smokes to gain some map control, and I can certainly understand why this is very frustrating indeed, because to watch, especially on control right now, S&D I think is okay. I mean, a map like Miami, I think they lost on Miami round 11 or in the game 5, and that definitely does have a defense advantage, but at the same time, like, offense can certainly win rounds on that map if you play it in the correct way, if you play the correct picks, and we've seen it done by a lot of teams actually having great success on offense over at A and at B. So I don't really think Miami or Search and Destroy in general is too bad. Like, there are some maps where offense definitely has a great chance to get some map wins or some round wins, but well, control is really the problem, right? On Raid, it's very balanced, I think. We see a lot of defense round wins, a lot of offense round wins. Seems seems to play pretty well. It might not be perfect, but it plays certainly much better than Garrison and, well, of course, Checkmate, which are very frustrating to watch. Garrison especially has really got to me the last couple of days, I don't know, because there's just so many things on that map that you'll see that as soon as the push kind of breaks down and they don't capture the round, like, I think it was even London, they got, like, the final point with 0.2 seconds on the clock, and if anything, that actually cost them, right? Like, maybe what they should have done was just, you know, say, okay, we're going to lose this offense, let's just try and get as many kills as we can on defense, so we get defense around 11 or round 5. But by actually getting that A flag or getting that A point and trying to get B, which they didn't end up getting, they then lose even more lives than they would have done otherwise, and therefore they get offense round 5, and therefore they lose it, right? And defense wins every single round in that map. Garrison control Dallas Empire versus London Royal Ravens. Very frustrating to watch, very frustrating to deal with. I think especially we saw Minnesota Rokkr, for example, when they were losing an offensive round, they literally just turtled up in their base and just played kills so that they would try and get defense round 5, which seems to be the optimum strategy. That's not something you want to see. You want it to be actually be able to, the offense can actually win on some of these maps. We talked about some fixes a few days ago, the fact that maybe when you get a tick on a capture point, you actually get 20 seconds on the game clock as opposed to just only getting a minute when the entire point is captured, I suppose. And maybe that would help, but at the same time, maybe that would make Rage control too easy, right? So that's certainly an argument you could look at, and you don't really want to have it where Rage you play in the traditional way, and then on Garrison and Checkmate you play on the other way to give offense a little bit of a leg up. It's really a tough situation, but I do certainly agree the control right now, if it's not on Rage, is largely very frustrating. And if someone wins an offense, you just feel like, okay, it's probably game over at this point, and well, otherwise we're just going to a round 5 defense, and the game drags on seemingly for no reason. We might as well just play like one round and well, just flip a coin at that point. So as well, Octane says right here, out of curiosity, least favorite control, Garrison, Checkmate. I voted Checkmate, but Garrison is certainly up there right now, and Raid, of course, well, pretty good. And well, Lion Man says that Raid control is fire, brother Hitch, but yeah, this is exactly how I thought this was going to go, said Octane. So certainly he's pretty frustrated with the set of control right now, and I think as fans, well, certainly it's not necessarily the best thing to watch. Maybe still better than domination though, so I will give it that at the very least. I thought I'd talk about this as well. A few of you guys were saying, like, can you bring up the standings in the next video? These are the standings at the present time. Thieves extend their lead in Group A. They're 3-0. Dallas 2-1. Rokkr 2-1. So as we can see right here, the top 3 go through to the winners bracket of the major. The bottom 3 do not. So, of course, a massive series coming up these next couple of days. Seems like Surge and Ravens are probably out of it in terms of Group A. So Subliners versus Rokkr coming up today is going to be a massive match to determine who gets that top 3 spot at the major. Then we've got the Group B side, of course, so Atlanta FaZe running away with this one, it seems right now. OpTic Chicago in second, then Paris are actually down here in third, with Toronto Ultra just behind. Some huge series between all these teams over the next couple of days to determine who is actually going to solidify that third spot. Seems like OpTic and FaZe for now should be out there. Wanted to talk about this as well that I thought was entertaining from a couple of days ago. Didn't get to cover it at the time because there's just been so much going on. But Owakening does like his first ever interview after their series win up against Los Angeles Grillers. They beat on the first day. It was a pretty entertaining interview. Miles did a good job trying to extract some spice. He asks Owakening, like, is there anyone you've got beef with, particularly any teams you would like to play at the major and take them down? And Owakening kind of calls out Crimsix, saying that Crim's been a little bit weird to him over his career, and well, now he's proving the haters wrong. Yeah.
Anyone in particular on those teams? Have you got anyone with a little bit of beef with? Anything juicy? Any like Perez Hilton style juicy dirt we can get on you?
I guess you can say Crimsix. He's always been kind of weird to me, but other than that, not really.
That's right. Well, we're looking forward to those games when they come up. But congratulations once again. A nice 3-1 victory. You've earned some time off. Anything you want to say to the fans before we go?
I want to thank you guys for all your support, because it actually means a lot. Coming from last year, everyone thought I cheated, and just you guys keep supporting me, and we'll keep winning.
Just a couple of things to finish off the video. The Challengers Elite Stage 1 playoffs happened yesterday alongside the Pro League. A little bit weird how it was all scheduled, but I guess it makes sense given the fact that it's got to go alongside the Super Week. In an ideal world, it would have gone on its own day. But Rams actually win it in the European region, so Nvidia, Journey, Lucky, Mentals, and Nacho over there as the coach. They win the European side, and in the North American side, Wester actually lost in the grand finals to the New York Subliners Academy. Glowfrosty, Spart, Saints, and Prolute win it over there. So fair play to these guys. The top 4 will stay in the stage 1 in the Challengers Elite for stage 2, and then the bottom 4 will go down into an elimination gauntlet, which I'm sure I will mention over the coming days and weeks. This I thought was interesting because Whalers, who's been playing with Hydra, of course, we finished 3rd in this Challenger season. Very disappointed to have lost such a close match for a spot in the final. Good luck to our boy Hydra for the CDL, and above all, don't forget COD is live. So seems like Hydra basically is implying that yes, Hydra is going to be getting out to the States very soon indeed, and well, what happens with the New York Subliners, it probably depends on exactly how their series go potentially later today and the rest of the Super Week. Sunny B says as well on Trey Zero's side, the fact that he's now on a two-way, so he can compete still in challenges while being on a UK in the UK. That's certainly a good thing to see, but at the same time, yeah, we just hope he can get out to the States at some point. But even if he does, what even is the fix for London? If they keep playing like this, you know, what's the solution? Because Parasite seems to be pretty good. You can't really get rid of Shawnee, right? Because Shawnee's been arguably their best player. Like, he's definitely had the most clutch highlight moments. Alex has had some good moments. Maybe it's even Dylan Cod who's in a bit of a questionable spot. Maybe you look at Afro trying to bring him in for Dylan. Maybe, I don't really know. It's a tough one to say, but the team did look better against Dallas yesterday, so maybe I'll give them the benefit of doubt for a little bit longer. But they are the only team not to have won a series in the entire league at the present time. This I thought was interesting from Scump as well. Improving on a game mode overnight just isn't a thing. People expect us to just magically practice on becoming Sailor SD, which is a fair point. It's our third match. We were a top 3 S&D team last year too, but people say we sucked at it. I just don't understand. But again, certainly Search and Destroy is going to be a major topic for these guys going forwards in the coming days, and also will be a topic in their matchup later today. So this is the Thursday. We've got Minnesota Rokkr, New York Subliners. This, to me, is a really, really hard series to call, because Subliners looked so good a couple of days ago up against the Royal Ravens. Rokkr have looked a little bit maybe shaky at times, especially in their series loss to LA Thieves, but since then, they've been looking pretty good indeed, including, of course, taking down the world champions. So to me, I'm probably going to take Rokkr in a Game 5. I think that a number of Rokkr's series, if you say Rokkr in a Game 5, you're probably not making a mistake. Their Search and Destroy has been very good. If they start continuing to winning hard points, then they should probably on paper be a better team than New York, I think, but New York did look very good a couple of days ago. It's a tough one to call. Then you've got OpTic versus LAG. After OpTic's victory against Toronto yesterday, I don't have too many worries about OpTic in this series. I think certainly in the respawns, they should come out very, very strong, and LAG are going to have a hard time competing with the slaying power they bring to the table. But once again, Search and Destroy is going to be a discussion point. If LAG, they are a very solid Search and Destroy team, if they can win the Surge, and who knows about a control, right? You go into a garrison control, let's say LAG get defense first, then there's a good chance, right, that LAG actually steal that map, and then we might be looking at a Game 5. And if we are, as OpTic, do you really want to go Game 5 against LAG? You certainly do not, right? They're a solid Search and Destroy team, very disciplined. So I'm expecting an OpTic 3-1, but if OpTic's Search and Destroy continues to be a weak spot, it certainly might not be as easy as that. And then we've got FaZe versus Mutineers. The Mutineers, of course, won this matchup at the Kickoff Classic, but FaZe since then have looked much, much better, and Mutineers have looked much, much worse. Like, they lost 3-0 to Paris Legion a couple of days ago. I think that FaZe will close this one out. But intrigued to hear your thoughts in the comment section below, of course. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm that you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and upgrade the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.